Alright, ladies and gents, Avatar Fire and Ash. The feature reviews are here. So, I've done the first reactions video, which people sort of dropped. I don't know, they gave their first social media reactions, about a week and a half ago now, I think. Anyway, the movie's out, or is going to be out in 2 days' time. Probably advanced screenings tomorrow. And the full reviews are here. They're very, very positive, as you can imagine. So, I thought we'd take a look at it. I got my own personal opinions on this film. It's not for me, but this film will do very, very well at the box office. So there you go. It is one of those movies. Never bet against James Cameron, as they say. So let's take a look, because I think this is interesting. Some people will get some. Some people will get something from this video. Some people will be excited. Some people will be baffled. This will amp people up. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's worthwhile talking about as a result of just how massive a film this will be. You know, whether you agree or disagree with it, you know, you can stand on as an onlooker and marvel at how it's impressively large box office will be and why people like it. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling crap. Anyway, so we'll do compliment sandwich, because there are some negative ones, right? It is overwhelmingly positive, but there are some negative ones. So we'll compliment sandwich it. So Dom Fisher, we'll just do the highlights. 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, not bad, pretty good. Avatar Fire and Ash is visually triumphant, yet narratively familiar. Aren't they all? This otherworldly epic is an awe-inspiring feast for the eyes, but most of the film is eerily reminiscent of its 2022 predecessor, which was reminiscent of the first one. And that was reminiscent of other movies. Not necessarily bad. You know, some people like that. Obviously, a lot of people like it. It's a negative one. Fire and Ash is a technical masterpiece, but when a film's greatest strength is its CGI and its greatest weakness is its soul, it's hard to recommend. Fire and Ash is a shallow, recycled, uninspiring third act to a franchise. Pretty savage. Positive one. As a sizzle reel for the next wave of CG animation technology, Avatar Fire and Ash delivers. As the third chapter of a story that is meant to be moving and even engaging, this latest chapter once again falls short, and that's positive. I never understand. Yeah, I never understand some of these. How you... That, to me, sounds negative, but that's all by the by. Anyway, an actual negative one. Fire and Ash is a technical marvel, but at its core, it feels like Cameron is still recycling a lot of the franchise's basics. Everyone is saying the same thing, just as an FYI. The positive ones are saying the same as the negative ones. So actually, it really does depend where you sit on there. Whether you want more narrative, or whether you just care about the visual feast and getting lost in a world. I guess for some people, they need the narrative to carry getting lost in that world. Some people just require the visuals to get lost in the world. That's probably a fair assessment, I think, isn't it? Anyway, so another positive one. Watching the spectacle on the largest screen available is still a breathtaking experience, even if narratively, Fire and Ash feels like an expansion of The Way of Water, as opposed to its own standalone tale. Honestly, a lot of them are saying the same stuff, positive and negative. They highlight the same. They're highlighting the same things, and some are negative and some. It's just interesting. Anyway, disastrously boring and redundant. The entire story of Fire and Ash is been there, done that 2 times already. We're sort of bored the second time, so there's no excuse to be doing this all yet again, dude. It is interesting, isn't it? I can't get over this, how they're all saying the same thing. But some love it, and some absolutely hate it. Fascinating. Great sequels don't just repeat, they build. This one treads beautifully rendered water. And that's a positive. Because a 2.4 out of 5. 2.5 out of 4, sorry. Interesting. Here's this one. This one is actually a break from the norm. We're lucky to be living in a world where this movie exists, warts and all. It's proof positive that big blockbuster commercial cinema can still be a work of art. Good to those people that like it. I walked out the third movie in the series feeling like I basically rewatched the second film, only this time it was longer. That's a 7 out of 10. Fucking hell. From the opening frames, Fire and Ash reminds us why IMAX screens and 3D technology were invented. Cameron's world building continues to astound. Again, so that's not saying anything. I'm only doing the highlights. I'm not going to read all of these reviews in depth, but the highlights are interesting. That's a break from the norm. While the stories are following a familiar pattern, there you go, it's undeniable that Cameron is giving audiences the complete theatrical experience to keep them coming back for more. Yeah, it's undeniable, yeah. Avatar Fire and Ash is easily one of this year's best films. Its story, visuals, and action are all top-notch as James Cameron keeps pushing the boundaries of what is possible on the big screen in a way that seems effortless. The bum-numbing Avatar Fire and Ash proves no film needs to be 197 minutes long. That's funny. It's a bit of a letdown in comparison to what's come before, but this franchise still delivers spectacle like nothing else. Avatar Fire and Ash is the return of the Jedi of the franchise, for better or worse. At a time when the theatrical movie-going experience feels perpetually on the brink of collapse, James Cameron once again rides in like a king, returning to his throne. It doesn't add anything new from the second film. It doesn't feel special. It is interesting. Again, like a lot of these are saying the same stuff. Some of them are broken from that format. But a lot of them are the same. Fire and Ash is the biggest, heaviest, most epic Avatar film to date. Cameron continues to take big swings at his material while opening up his world to even more possibilities for future stories. The cast largely lands complicated and well-scripted emotional material, and Chaplin's new villain is terrifying in equal measure. It's a stellar sequel overall, showing there's life on that magical moon yet. Was it a moon? I guess it was. The incredible capstone to one of the finest sagas in blockbuster history. For those looking for a good time at the movie, Avatar Fire and Ash offers some thrilling visuals, but little else. The story is repetitive and unfocused. The characters dull and lacking depth. No, it couldn't possibly be nothing. Sure, this is an absolutely gorgeous piece of cinema. However, it is overly long, repetitive, and doesn't say much of anything new. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it sounds all the same. Visually astounding. Story features repetitive stuff. Cinematic event. Massive visuals. Visually appealing. Repetitive. Visually impressive. Clunky dialogue. Neglectful pacing. Some of us saw a while ago that turning Avatar into a franchise would prove to be creative cul-de-sac. Having reached the top of street 3 years ago, Cameron spends all of Fire and Ash trying to turn his enormous articulated lorry around. Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, if you like the first two, you'll enjoy Fire and Ash. Just don't be surprised if the only thing that sticks with you is that water gently lapping at the screen. Brilliant. It's difficult to get lost in Fire and Ash when most of the film has been done before. Watching the second sequel play a strange game of recycling. Nothing in this movie is entirely novel, and yet for the first time in the series, I cared deeply about where the actual story of Avatar was going. But that says, if you didn't care about where the story was going, you wouldn't have watched up to number 3 unless you'd liked the first two. So if you didn't like the first two and you didn't care, then, and this is the only one you now care about, if he wasn't a reviewer, then he wouldn't have watched the third, if that makes sense. Anyway, there you go. Reviews are in. More of the same, but visually great by the sounds of it. It's a long-ass movie. Anyway, love to hear your thoughts. Are you going to go watch it or not? I can't wait for Fallout, to be honest, but never mind. Anyway, take care. Bye-bye now.